Yo, what's up, family? What's happening? 6:30.
Hello.
Time to get a little shopper. What's going on with you? Welcome to the Anti-Negativity Network. We're back here again. As you can see, I have my lovely wife here with me again this week, so I should be all right this week. But hope you're doing well, having a good week so far, and just continue to stay on your journey, continuing to seek God's will for your life, continuing to just make a difference, right? So stay on your grinds. Just keep pushing, keep going forward, all right? Um, just a couple things before we get into what we're going to talk about this week. Um, hey, Mama Jane, appreciate you.
Hey, James.
Hey, um, first thing that we always do, I know I didn't do it last week, but I'm going to do it this week. All right, on the count of three, let's go ahead and get that breath in. All right, 1, 2, 3. Let's do it again. 1, 2, 3. One last time. 1, 2, 3. All right. Hopefully you feel a little refreshed, at least for a few minutes, few seconds. All right, because the pressures of life keep getting us going, and we just sometimes forget just to take a second. So we're gonna keep moving. But again, one other thing I want to say before we get into this, as I mentioned to many of y'all before, and I've mentioned it, so I'm just gonna say it again, that I have started a YouTube channel. We've started, I shouldn't say we've started the Anti-Negativity Network YouTube channel. So I'm asking that you would go subscribe to that. Again, it's going to be pretty much what we do right here on Thursdays, but I'll be adding some other stuff into there. And of course, y'all know me. You're going to have some bowling on there. So that's going to be there. So, hey, she don't bowl, but she dance. So it's going to be some things on there. It's going to be some things on there for the ladies. It's going to be some things on there for the guys. All my bowling family, I'm going to represent that. And then we're going to keep it positive as well. So there's no telling what you're liable to see on there. There'll be some interviews, various interviews of different people. We're just going to have fun on there. But again, it's all about being positive because there's so much negativity out here. We need something to balance that out. So I think it's my job to try to start to balance that out. So
I'm just curious to see how he's going to relate scripture to bowling. Stay tuned.
Hey, it can happen. Watch. Stay tuned. It can happen. I promise you. So I promise you, I don't know how, but it's going to happen. All right. So, but look, what we want to get into, we've been on this thing about seeking God's will and God's will for our life, and just trying. We're always trying to be a better version of ourselves each day, right? So, but seeking God's will, His will is going to take place in your life. But what we do and the decisions that we make kind of dictates what route we're going to take for it to get done in our life. Now, you can take the easiest route or you can take the hardest route. That's really up to you. But I promise you, I can say I promise you, chances are it's not going to always be easy. But with Him, it's the easiest way to go. So, again, that's always what we want to be striving for, seeking, is what is His will for our life. And again, I believe a lot of that has to do with a lot of those dreams and goals that you have in your life, that burning on the inside, those things that you just think about and you just really want to do, or you really want to seek and find and get some understanding on. A lot of those things are tied to His will. And so you might want to go ahead and pursue that, okay? And don't think it has to be a certain time limit or a certain time, a certain way. You just seek Him. He's gonna lead you. He's gonna direct you, okay? Do you have anything you want to say? Okay, sure.
Mhm.
Okay, all right. So, what I want to discuss this week is something. I'll be honest with you, this is a little personal for me. But let me go here. I want to go here with this. There was a scripture in this second book of Samuel. I think it's the 12th chapter, somewhere around there. I think, yeah, 12th chapter. And I'm not going to go into the history of it, and I'm not going to read it word for word, but basically in a nutshell, you have a situation where Samuel, uh, Uzziah, has a child. Both Samuel and Uzziah have a child. And unfortunately, the child gets sick. And while this child is sick, David is just, he's fasting, he's praying, he's doing all he can, pleading with God to heal the child. Want the child to be healed. And some of the guys come around, they're like, man, he got to eat. He got to get up off the ground. He got to take care of himself. And they go to try to get him, and he like, no, I'm not doing nothing. I'm staying right here. So he continues to stay there. He continues to press. He continues to move. He continues to. All of his energy is towards Christ and pleading and begging with him and doing all he possibly earthly can to have God reverse this situation and heal the child. And unfortunately, it doesn't happen. Child doesn't get healed. Child passes away. And so I know many of us can relate to that story in so many different ways. Many people that may be tuned in may have, lost a child or a family member or something, can relate to that story. But we can also relate that to a lot of things in our life, some things that we've been pressing for, we've been going after, and we've been striving for it, and then it just begins to go wrong, and then we just continue to press. We just keep hoping, we just believe in it, just knowing that this is going to work, and it still doesn't work. It still doesn't work. And it can be pretty deflating. It can be frustrating. It can hurt. It can leave you in a world of like, why, and not clearly understanding, why do I have to deal with this? Why did it not work? I mean, a lot of questions, a lot of hurt, a lot of pain, a lot of disgust can come from those different situations. And so please jump on in whenever you're ready. But like I said, I think we can all relate to that in some way, shape, or form. Even if you haven't lost a loved one, there's still something in your life that has taken place that you can relate to that story. And so what we get out of that is the fact that sometimes we're gonna have to, sometimes we're gonna have to accept what God allows. Okay. Sometimes God allows some things to happen and we're not going to understand it. We're not going to feel warm and fuzzy about it. Matter of fact, we're going to be sure enough pissed off about some of it, right? Because we do not understand and do not know why he allowed that to happen. When we know he could have flipped it, he could have changed that situation. So why didn't he do it? So a lot of us end up frustrated and want to question God. Why did you allow this to happen? And so, I wish I had one answer to fit all. Okay. Unfortunately, I don't. But we have to understand that we serve a God that's all knowing. He's what's the word? What's that big word that I'm looking for? That's just
omnipotent.
Omnipotent. Okay. That's another word I thought. But anyway. The bottom line is
omnipresent.
Omnipresent. That still ain't there. That's another one. So start with S.
Sovereign.
Sovereign. There it is. We serve a sovereign God. Okay. And so I wish, I don't know why he had me talk about this, but I feel like I need to talk about this today because there are things that are going to happen in our life. If it hasn't already, keep on living. There's things that are going to happen in our life that we're just simply not going to understand. And it's going to hurt. It's going to bother you. It's going to irritate you. It's going to leave you questioning. It's going to leave you wondering why. And unfortunately, you're not going to always get a clear answer to it. Okay. Some things you will go to your grave still not knowing and not understanding. Okay. But we have to know and believe that it's all working for our good, even when we don't understand. Now, how can someone passing away work for our good? Please understand, first off, that even though we have children, right? We have them, but they still belong to God first and foremost, because he's the one that actually created them. We're just the ones that's responsible for teaching them. We're the ones responsible for helping them grow. We're the ones responsible for taking care of them while they're here on this earth and preparing them for when it's their turn to have their kids, right? So that's our job. But ultimately, that child belongs to him. So he has the final say, not us. Even though we feel like we should because we the parents, he has the final say. Wait a minute, you had something?
No.
You can, what you on here? You supposed to be talking. But anyway, golly. Anyway, so she just on here to make it look good. That's what it is, right? No, I know she over here studying and reading and stuff. I know what she's doing, but
yeah, because I'm still stuck on the piece where you were talking about the who had a child.
Uzziah.
Uzziah had a child.
Yeah, or was it Uzziah or Uriah?
No, it was
They start with a U.
David and Bathsheba had a child.
No, read that.
That's what I'm looking.
Read
just to
2 Samuel chapter 12. See, I tell y'all, this is, if you never thought that this was rehearsed, now you should know. This is not rehearsed. We do this on the fly. Every Thursday, this is on the fly. So when we mess up, ain't no editing. It's right here. So check it out.
I will.
Go ahead, look at it now, because I want them to know too.
I am. Keep going.
All right, I'm going. All right, I ain't got no choice because you doing that. I ain't got no choice but to keep on. But anyway, but look, again, I don't want to get off the subject. I'm sorry. But again, the reason, I think another reason why I wanted to talk about this, because this is somewhat personal. I think I said a little while earlier. This is somewhat personal for me because we just don't understand why God does what he does, when he does it, the way he does it. And a lot of times it's not at the time that we think it should happen, right? We're just like, why now? Like, why did that have to happen right now, right? I ain't ready, okay? But you got to also understand that his time is not our time, okay? And because he sits high and looks low, that means he has the view that we don't have, okay? We do not have the view that he has. So because of the view that he has, and the will that he has for you in your life, things are going to happen. It's not going to make sense to you, okay? Not always, but it's going to be for your good, okay? So the reason why I said this is personal is because I show up to work Monday morning and I get a talking to. Guess what that talking to is? Tomorrow is my last day of working, right? So, needless to say, Monday was not a good day. Just gonna be frank, honest with you. That was my why. That was my, I don't understand this moment. Okay, God, why are you allowing this to happen right now? Now, many of y'all, I've said it before. Many of y'all know that I'm doing a career change. Okay, so I actually reduced my hours there so that I could focus on me becoming a health insurance agent, right? So that's what I'm doing. That's the career change I'm making. But because life still goes on, I still have to take care of this pretty lady right here in this house that we have, because bills don't stop. Just because I stop working somewhere or I cut my hours don't mean that the bills stop, right? So I got to keep working. So I'm working that, and then I flip over here and I'm working on this, right? So I'm just doing what I feel like I'm supposed to be doing as a man, number one, as a husband, and as a provider. I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, right? So how come God, why now? You know, I'm not set up and ready yet. I'm still trying to build this over here. Why? I don't have an answer, but it is what it is, right? It's not like I can go back and change it. I can't flip it around. I can't go back. No, y'all gonna give me my job back. It ain't gonna happen like that, right? So again, as I tell y'all, as we're on this journey, we have no choice but to trust God in a lot of ways and a lot of things. We have to trust him. If we really want what's best for us, if we really want his will for our life to be done, if we really want the blessings that he has for us, there's going to have to be some trust in him. You're going to have to roll with him through the thick and the thin. And when it don't make sense, it don't understand, when it hurt, when it's frustrating, when you're ready to cuss everybody out, all of that, all them negative feelings that want to come up. We got to talk real on here. When we get those questions and we get those feelings, we're going to have to understand that he still knows what's going on with you. He knows what's ahead. Okay. We might not understand it. We don't see it. Okay. But we got to trust him. I'm not saying it's always easy because we love to know what's going on. We love to be in control. Okay. And so when we don't know what's going on, when we don't have control, that's when the struggle really kicks in, right? So we're going to have to trust God. We have no choice. Go ahead, man.
Well, I mean, when you have a history with God, you know that he gives you a rest. Mm-hmm. He just gives you a peace and a rest. So even when circumstances come your way, it doesn't really take you out as much as it would have done in the past. Mm-hmm. Because again, you have such a history with God and you know him, Yep. And so I think in this situation that Ron just experienced, there was that rest there. Mm-hmm. There was that, okay, God, I trust you, okay, God, I give it to you. I know that you're going to, lead me to where you want me to go or what you have planned for me, especially since you've been talking about this subject anyway. This is just a test again. But yeah. So again, as I said, he just gives you a rest.
Yeah. And so, and that's so true. And I'm glad you said that. And about the rest piece, let me say this. And this is, I know I'm fortunate. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm fortunate. I'm blessed because I have her. So sometimes she's been able to talk me off the ledge. And so I'm ready to fly off the handle. I'm just, woe is me, all that type of stuff. And so that's again another reason why, even though you might not be married or something, relationship is important. Relationship, okay? And some relationships we have to foster. And there's a scripture about us being friendly. We must first be friendly or something. To be a friend, you know what I'm talking about. That's why I tell you, I don't try to quote scriptures, but there's a scripture in there talk about being a friend, but you must first be friendly. And so that's what we have to do, because forsake not the assembly. And I talked about that on last week. It's important that we are around people because it gives us the encouragement. We get that energy. Now, make sure you're around the right folk, okay? I ain't saying just be around folk just for the sake of being around folk. You want to make sure you're surrounding yourself with people that can help you through times like this, okay? You have those people that you can talk to and just let it out, okay? Even, again, I've been talking about it so much here lately about a therapist. Sometimes I was at mine this past Thursday. You got to talk about it. Anyway, I just wanted to saw my therapist, right? And that was Tuesday. Mm-hmm. But anyway, those you have to some way, somehow get it out. Okay. And pray and ask God to send someone. If you don't have that person right now, ask God to send someone to you. Of course, seek him first. And I always tell you that, seek him first. Okay. And these things can be added to you. Having the right people in your life can be added to you because you seek them. And so you ask them, hey, look, I need somebody. I need some help. And he'll send you who you need when you need it. Okay. And that's all part of this whole thing of his will and getting through these moments in life where you just don't understand why he picked this time and why he chose to do it this way. You got a lot of questions, a lot of frustrations, a lot of irritations that you got some questions that you need some answers and want some answers to. It just doesn't make sense. Right. And so sometimes we need that person that can say, hey, you're going to be all right. You're going to get through this. OK, for us. Unfortunately, this is not our first time going down this road. Unfortunately for me, just to be totally honest with you, this is the 5th time I've had to go through this. Didn't expect to have to go down this road. Didn't even expect to go down it the first time. Needless to say, 5 times later, I'm having to go down this road. Maybe there's something for me to learn. Maybe there's something, I clearly believe there's something bigger and better for me. That's the reason why this had to happen. And sometimes he allows some things to happen because we're not strong enough to get ourselves out of it. I'm going to let that marinate for a second. Okay. Sometimes we are not strong enough to get ourselves out of situations that we need to be out of, because he has something better for you. He has a different plan for you. He has a different route for you to go. But because you will not get yourself out of it, sometimes he has to do these things. Why? Because he simply loves you. He simply wants the best for you. He really does. He really wants. You might not feel it all the time. You might not look like it all the time. But I promise you, he has your best interest at heart, and he wants the best for you. He created you. Why would he want you to not be good? Why would you are his child? And he loves you that enough. He loved you enough that he died for you. So why wouldn't he not want you to be good? Why would he not want you to have the best? But sometimes we have to do some things and get ourselves out of some situations. Sometimes we have to make that choice. And then sometimes we're not strong enough to make that choice, and he has to make it happen. So that sometimes that's the way it is. Go ahead, babe.
I think, yeah, great. I think in the Western world, we always relate the will of God to materialistic things or fame, all of those things. And, sometimes the will of God is just happiness or, long life. Sometimes he may end something because he may know that if you stay in this, you're not going to have long life or something. It's very stressful, the situation that you're in. So, when you're thinking about the will of God, don't just think about, owning a business and, getting your first novel published, etc. But, it encompasses other aspects. Yeah.
That's last point, and we're gonna get ready to get on out of here. But what she just said, it's another thing. That's another part I can relate to, because one of those 5 times where I had my job ended was one of them was at Pepsi, and I worked at Pepsi. No harm or disrespect to Pepsi, but I know for me in the position that I was in, it was very stressful. And I often said that if I stayed at that job, we might not be having this conversation right now. And so God had to remove me from that situation because it physically was not doing me any good. Okay. It was stress on me. And that stress can hurt, can kill. Okay. Because a lot of physical ailments and mental ailments that we have can come from stressful situations. And so sometimes, again, he has to sometimes get us out of some situations because we're not strong enough to get ourselves out of it. But yet that situation is not doing us any good. Okay. So when God allows some things to happen, we got to learn to accept it and just know that he's doing what's best for you. He's doing what's best for your situation, what's going on in your life. He's trying to move you in the direction that's going to be the best for you. You just have to trust and believe that, okay? Just trust and know he got you. I always tell you, he got you. Now you're just going to have to trust that and know he got you. So you keep moving forward with him, and it's going to be a beautiful thing, all right? So we're going to get ready to cut on out of here. I will ask also that you will keep our family in prayer. We just lost a matriarch in our family. She was like a calming influence in our family. She never had to raise her voice and make herself known, but you knew she was there. And so we are going to miss her. Little Helen, we love you. God bless your memory. God bless the family. So just keep the entire family in prayer. And anybody else that's lost anyone, we pray for you as well. So we don't want to not think about you as well. There's some tough times we in right now, so we all need prayer, right? So just keep pushing, guys. Just keep focused. Keep encouraging each other. Keep loving each other. Stroker, holler at you soon, man. Wanda, appreciate you. Thank you. Family, we love you. See you next week at 6:30. Keep pushing. Keep making it do what it do. Love you.
Love you all.